Let's try to figure out why the Santa Ynez Reservoir didn't have any water in it.
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened. So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There was no communication from the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the reservoir was empty.
This reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water. The fire department was using a water supply from 3 backup tanks, each one only holding 1 million gallons of water.
They say it's closed for maintenance to repair the lid that's on top of it. I don't know a lot about reservoir maintenance, but there's literally no construction materials or vehicles anywhere in sight. Also, with a reservoir like this, you can refill it or start to refill it. So another question is, if they saw the Santa Ana winds were coming and we have this remarkably dry wet season, why was there no attempt to start refilling it back up? I know I threw a lot out there, but I think we need some answers, guys.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And can you imagine being one of the people who have lost a home in this and then learning this information and hearing how easily this could have been avoided, but instead you have a mayor who cut the fire department spending by $17.6 million to focus on homelessness spending, only for homelessness to get worse, basically just making excuses. And so you have LA residents ripping into Mayor Karen Bass, calling her useless. You know, libs of TikTok shared that Barack Obama said to her he's confident she's going to be an outstanding mayor. And then she defunds the fire department, empties reservoirs, stolen hydrants, canceled hydrant testing. The reservoir in Pacific Palisades was out of commission when the fire started. And it didn't seem like they were doing much to progress the construction on it. I mean, so that's 117 million gallons of water. And when you look at the map of the Palisades, that reservoir is in the heart of the area that is most affected. And so how much water does it take to put out a house? It says here that it can be several hundreds gallons to a couple thousand gallons of water to control one house. So let's just assume that it was the highest end, and each house needed 2,000 gallons of water to be able to put out a fire. However, I highly doubt that they would have needed that much. I think any water would have been more useful than nothing, and it would have saved a lot. However, okay, let's just take this number. So we got 17 million gallons, and let's divide that by 2,000 per home. How many homes could have been saved? More homes than were destroyed. I just actually freaked out for a second because I was like, wait, no, that can't be right. That doesn't sound right. 117 million gallons was the capacity. I mean, that could have like easily saved the entire town. And yet Gavin Newsom is like, we're going to do an investigation to get to the bottom of this. I mean, this has been empty since February. I mean, what kind of investigation are you supposed to do on something that hasn't been progressing? Nobody's working on this. Nobody's going to be to blame. I mean, who are you going to blame for this? There's no one who's working on it. You should be in charge of this. And then they're trying to be like, oh, even if there was water, it was a pressure issue. Incorrect. Because like I've been saying, I mean, the pressure of the water would have made the pressure come out. It says if Santa Ynez would have been in service, you probably would have had some help in keeping the pressures up. You know? Here you can see the city of LA's fire department operational budget increases and decreases. So the police had the biggest one, the library housing, and then you can see here that the decrease for the fire department was the second largest to come out of the budget. So don't give a round of applause to Karen Bass. So this is what Gavin Newsom posted. He said he's calling for an independent investigation into the loss of water pressure into local fire hydrants. And so let's look at this document. Basically, it talks about the winds. Yes, everything was because of the winds. And There was nothing we could have done to prevent this, right? The ongoing reports of the loss of water pressure to some local fire hydrants during the fires and the reported unavailability of water supplies from the Santa Ynez Reservoir are deeply troubling to me and the community. Yeah, but I don't think you find it so deeply troubling when you make sure that your friends and your land is getting the water that they need. Meanwhile, the water's not being allocated good for the citizens, while water supplies from local hydrants are not designed to extinguish wildfires over large areas. Like, that has nothing to do with this. Why are you going to put excuses in an official document? Losing supplies from fire hydrants likely impaired the effort to protect some homes. We need answers to how that happened. Oh, man. And it's crazy because, I mean, as the governor, people are going to look to you. This is a big responsibility. And so the fact that now people are looking to you, that you keep deflecting everything, just shows your immaturity. I mean, what the people want to hear right now, we need somebody to be like, okay, this is what went wrong. This is how we're going to fix it next time. But I don't think that Gavin can do that because, to me, I believe that he's really corrupt. And in doing anything like that would expose him. And he'd be out of office for sure, at the least. I mean, that's why this post makes a lot of sense to me. If it says, if someone has already been so irresponsible, I added the so, with money and duties like Karen Bass and Gavin, you don't just hand them more money. I mean, I'm still questioning, where's the $24 billion that was supposed to be used to solve homelessness? I mean, this is a continual pattern. So let's let Julian Michaels cook Gavin and his political career.
What do you mean you're going to do better next time? That woman in tears saying to the governor, is it going to be different next time? Oh, it has to be. It needed to be different this time, Gavin. And there's simply no excuse. I really don't even believe you can blame it on incompetence because there's already a mandate. For example, in 2014, Proposition 1 passed that put billions of dollars towards building new reservoirs. That's already in place. Not one has been built.
Wow.
There have been calls for controlled burns for decades. We did them historically throughout my entire childhood and young adult life in California. And now we've stopped because I'm not even quite sure. It could be the cost, I've heard. It could be environmental pressures. It could be both.
I mean, I have no clue how this guy is still in office after everything. And also, I don't even think that he cares about the environment. So whatever measures they're not taking because it could somehow negatively affect the environment just seems like a lie, because while they try to make it seem like the Delta Tunnel was going to be good for those little fish, actually it's not. So that's just a lie. And all of these funds that they don't have for the fire department or to make better systems or to build the reservoirs, those could have been used instead of furthering the project of the Delta Tunnel. I mean, the Delta Tunnel is a $20 billion project all about moving around water. So if they can spend $20 billion to send money to the Pistachio Wonderful Company, then why can't they do it for the reservoirs? Also, I mean, it's just so convenient that the Wonderful Company is just placed right outside of where the fire was. I mean, Palisades fire is here. As you can see, the reservoir's right here. The fire's right next to where the water should be coming from. But oh, you got the Resnicks. They live in Beverly Hills too, in Aspen apparently. Ugh, that's annoying. And so they live right outside of the area where the fire is. It's just so convenient. They're just so close, so close. I mean, so their property's fine. Their thousands and thousands of acres are fine. They're plenished. They have water. And yet, this reservoir, I mean, just look at this. Palisades fire. Yep. Right next to this 117 million gallon reservoir of water. But that's not a priority to Gavin. That's the thing about politicians. I read one comment of somebody who said, that's why I don't like politicians because like they go into government and then they get rich. Like I would rather have somebody who's already rich and then go into politics like Donald Trump. Double check, guys, that you are subscribed so you'll never miss out on a new video. I will see you very soon. Bye.